One Zambia, One Nation. Thank you for joining us for Zanis News with me, Sarah Miti. Top stories in the news. Bank of Zambia launches monetary policy report. DMMU aids Kasama flood victims. Chipata Industrial Yard benefits locals. Plus, Chira-Chilubanama Road remedial works commence. The news in detail. The Bank of Zambia has launched its first publication of the Monetary Policy Report, MPR, which is expected to enhance transparency, accountability, communication, and interactions on monetary policy matters. The report is a product of the newly constituted Monetary Policy Committee, which was established by the statute, thus making it the first time in the history of the bank to have a statutory MPC. Speaking at the launch, Bank of Zambia Governor Denny Kalalia disclosed that previously the bank had been publishing the report only for internal use, but the new BOZ Act of 2022 requires that the bank publishes it to promote accountability and transparency. And Home Affairs and Internal Security Minister Jack Mwimbo has cautioned officers from the Department of Immigration not to engage in partisan politics as this may jeopardize their operations. Mr. Mwimbo says the department is a security institution which requires its staff to uphold discipline and adhere to the core value of the department and provide services in accordance with the set performance standards. He said this when he graced the Senior and Regional Immigration Officers Annual Conference in Livingstone. We have more in this report.
He is in Livingstone to meet and interact with senior officers from the Immigration Department who are in Livingstone attending a 5-day conference. Home Affairs and Internal Security Minister Jack Mwimbo has interacted with regional immigration officers at Radisson Blu Hotel in Livingstone. The officers have gathered in Livingstone from their respective stations to find solutions to some of the challenges they face, as well as share ideas on how to improve their operations. Mr. Mwimbo has one word of advice to the officers.
I wish to direct you to stay away from partisan politics at all times, as this may jeopardize your operations on one hand and may attract serious consequences on the other. You are a security institution, therefore leave politics to us, the politicians, and concentrate on your core mandate and manage migration effectively. In conclusion, therefore, as you deliberate on the various topical issues in the next few days, you must do so with open minds. You must ensure that you come up with resolutions and practical solutions.
And the Director General has highlighted some of the developments that the department recorded last year.
We have continued to record cases of indiscipline among our staff. And in this regard, I report that we handled 37 disciplinary cases centered on unethical conduct, improper or disorderly behavior, breach of trust or confidentiality, corruption, absenteeism, and non-compliance with established procedures. 2 officers were dismissed, while 6 were recommended for dismissal. The other cases are at different stages of the disciplinary process. I want to assure you, guest of honor, that my command demands total discipline from our staff. While we carry out a number of preventive measures, mainly through the Integrity Committee, we also issue frequent warnings to our staff against misconduct. Otherwise, they face stiff punishment, including dismissal.
Lemli Kando, reporting for Zanis in Livingstone.
In health news, Northwestern Province Health Director Lakson Chidikita has disclosed that government has allocated 15 mini-hospitals to the province to be constructed in 2024. Speaking when he paid a courtesy call on Chief Chibwika of Mwinilunga District, Dr. Chidikita says Chibwika and Kakoma chiefdoms will be allocated 1 each. Jennifer Mutoshi now reports.
A place meant for saving life has become a death trap not only for the clients, but the workers too. The current deplorable state of Chief Chibwika Clinic in Mwinilunga District, which was left by missionaries in the late 1950s, prompted the provincial health director to move the workers to the maternity annex. However, all hope is not lost, as government allocates a mini hospital in the area.
The government of the Republic of Zambia has given us 15 mini hospitals to be constructed here in Northwestern Province. And because I already know, as I went through the whole province, I've seen where there are a lot of deficits. I decided to locate one mini hospital to replace this one.
The news has pleased the traditional leader.
The health facility that we are talking about, it was not government constructed first and foremost. This was a structure that was left behind by well-wishers, and these were in the form of missionaries. And I want to thank this government. I want to thank the President of the Republic of Zambia, Dr. Hakainde Hichilema, for actually allowing his provincial health directors to also make decisions in selecting specific areas that they have identified as areas that they can construct new mini hospitals.
Chief Chibweka also has an appeal.
Yes, the decision has been made, and yes, we have been informed, but we await to see that actual construction activities do start and the necessary medical service deliveries can be offered to the people.
Reporting for Zanis News in Mwilonga District, Jennifer Mtoshi.
Thank you, Jennifer, for that report. Now, the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, has delivered tents to families whose houses collapsed due to heavy rains earlier this month in Chisanga village in Kasama district. And Kasama District Commissioner Annie Paul, who is also the chairperson of the District Disaster Management Committee, delivered the tents to the victims and assured them of continued support. Japhet Munkondia covered the event and now reports.
These are some of the affected families in Chisanga village of Kasama district whose houses collapsed earlier this month due to heavy rains experienced in the district. Government, through the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, has since moved in and provided tents to the affected families. Kasama District Commissioner Annie Paul delivered the tents to the victims and assured them of government's continued support.
And this is what we found on the ground. And temporal measures have been provided for our people who've brought tents that have been mounted by our men in uniform to see how we can cushion this problem that our people are facing in Chisanga village. Just like I said, these are just temporal measures, but we are still waiting for more help to come from the Vice President's office through the DMMU unit here in our province. So as we receive more help, we'll come back to Chisanga village.
The affected families thank the government for the gesture.
I just want to appreciate for the government for the assistance that they've given us. Because when my house collapsed, I was not even expecting to have a tent like this one. Now, through the disaster management, has just assisted us using these temporal houses.
Kasama district has continued to receive heavy rains, which has resulted in damage of bridges, houses, and other infrastructures. Reporting for Zanis in Kasama, I'm Japhet Munkondia.
In business news, Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprise Development, Skills Development and Entrepreneurship Project Manager Max Omumba says the project is meant to contribute towards job creation through initiatives like value addition to raw materials. Mr. Mumba says the Skills Development and Entrepreneurship Project also seeks to promote gender equality, thereby reducing poverty in the country. He has observed that groundnuts and soybeans are examples of agro raw materials that can be produced into finished products such as peanut butter and cooking oil. Mr. Mumba said this shortly after a media tour of the Chipata Industrial Yard in Eastern Province.
The Industrial Yard, a symbol of Zambia's dedication to nature entrepreneurship, is anticipated to act as a catalyst for job creation and economic growth. Government has built 8 industrial yards across the country, with 3 operational ones, including the Chipata Industrial Yard in Eastern Province. The project manager for Skills Development and Entrepreneurship Project supporting women and youths under the Ministry of Small Medium Enterprise Development, Maxwell Mumba, visited the industrial yard.
Room to go of this project is, one, to contribute towards job creation. Number two, to promote gender equality. Number three, of course, everybody is expecting that we are going to reduce somehow poverty. So if you read, the name of this project is Skills Development and Entrepreneurship Project Supporting Women and Youth. And we are focusing on women and youth. So we're talking about job creation among youths, and then we equalize some of the inequalities that exist in our society, and eventually we can see women and youths also catching up with men, and therefore poverty would be reduced. We are not saying we will eliminate it, but we can actually contribute towards this reduction. This is an initiative towards industrialization of our economy, and therefore it provides an opportunity for the people of Chipata and generally the people of Western Province to come and participate in this industrialization agenda. But most importantly, it's an avenue for empowering the citizens.
And Mr. Mumba further explained how the facility can be sustained.
These facilities are not absolutely free, but what we're looking for is to somehow find the right mix so that what we charge does not disadvantage the businesses. It shouldn't be too costly for them because we'll be killing them. At the moment, we are charging 3,000 kwacha per 100 square meters. So we're talking about 30 kwacha per square meter. That was from research, but we've received a lot of complaints. In any case, what we want to look at is finding a price that is also going to contribute towards the sustainability of these facilities.
Meanwhile, an SME operating at the Chipata Industrial Yard thanked government for the facility.
I think as an entrepreneur, I think I appreciate so much because I think there's been a difference. There's been a major difference since I came here. So I would like to appeal and appreciate the government that they should continue putting up such infrastructure to help upcoming entrepreneurs like me. I know there are so many out there. I'm not just the only one. Others are into processing of honey, as Mr. Mumba had mentioned, sunflower and the like. So I think the government is on the right course and they should continue putting up such infrastructure. We have equipment that we're able to do neat and perfect work. So that has been able to even polish up the work that we're able to do, in turn bringing more customers.
Munachivende for Zanis in Chipata.
And that report brings us to our first break. We have more stories when we return. Stay tuned.
Kolela ichumanyi. Kolela hi musongo wa kuhitisha. Muntu una kwachiki kumsongo wa kolela ukukata musongo wa kuhitisha na kusanza. Muntu yeniwo wahitisha nga menji adine imenji alosu. Muyeji ukuma menji mu mujimba windi mulonga wa kushweza kuhitisha menji amavulu. Muyeji na chwechu kufwa muji ora 10 na jiyadi ne ikutambula kukewa kwa kubula kulumbuluka. Injilanyi mwa kutambula musongo wakapota muneni ikolela. Kuna menji akubula kushewa ichumbu hela menji amajilu. Kuda yakukwata na makasa amajilu hela kukosa yenga na menji amajilu. Kuda yakubula kubutewa hana kuwila anjinji. Kuda infuta yichuta inabuli kuhembewa chubwahi. Kuda inakulandishewa kunsanyi kwa. Injilanyi ya ukangechela musongo wakapota muneni kolela. Wakati sheni menji enu akunwa hela sheni mu yichumbu ya chlorine. Wele enu kumakasa enu na mulola na kuwela nawa kumakasa hanyuma ya kuzacha chimbushu. Tatishenu yakuda heno kanda muyidi. Bai kuda inakulandishewa kunsanyi kwa. Zatishenu chimbushu mpindi yejima. Bai kuzatisha nyingomu hela ipepa la yanjunju muna mwakunatila malabishi. Mwanene nenu anju anakudukwashila kuyimbushu. Hembeni chimbushu cha unyonji nawa china kubutewa. Insangu yino anaileteliyu kudi akamtayi waipatela.
Welcome back. Minister of Technology and Science Felix Mutati says Northern Technical College should be one of the centers of excellence in the country, which equips students with modern workshop experience in light and heavy-duty vehicles. Mr. Mutati was speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of an extension workshop and human resource departments at Northern Technical College in Ndola. Here's a report.
Over 2,000 students are said to benefit from the $4 million project at Northern Technical College, which will see the construction of the extended workshop and heavy equipment repair departments. During the groundbreaking ceremony, Minister of Technology and Science has taken time to tour the institution.
And thank you for harmonizing the cooperating partners and for creating trust to the extent that they will facilitate the financing of the workshop and the equipment to the extent of around $4 million. That is the first point. Second point, equipment and buildings are insufficient if we don't have the heart. And the heart are the lecturers. We said 6, but introduced me to a young lady lecturer who has been in heavy duty automotive. So I said 6 you select. The 7th one is a minister's choice because she's a girl doing heavy duty equipment.
Northern Technical College principal is delighted with planned modernization of the workshop by government.
Guests of honor, sir, we want to take this opportunity to lobby government agencies, parastatals, and private organizations to support this initiative by contracting Nortec to service and repair their vehicles once the workshops are completed. We further request the city, municipal, and town councils across the country to invite Nortec to help them maintain their old and newly acquired fleet of heavy equipment. We are ready to partner with them and help them to train their operators in service and maintenance and upskilling of their mechanics in expertise such as you saw, Honorable Minister, the hydraulics and the pneumatic systems, which are not taught anywhere else other than here at Nortec.
However, United Nations Industrial Development Organization representative says the extension of the workshop and heavy equipment repair department is cardinal for the sustainable development and economic empowerment.
We embarked on construction of 2 modern vocational training facilities here in the heart of Zambia. These aren't merely buildings, they are the groundwork for a future where Zambian youth are equipped with the skills necessary for success in the global economy. Through modernised curriculum and practical training, we aim to bridge the gap between education and employment, fostering a workforce that is both skilled and innovative.
We'll make sure expands the students' knowledge here. And I'm also very happy for the minister. The minister said that they will send almost 6 lecturers abroad here so that they can get the much needed skill, so that they can give that skill to the students here at Northern Technical College here.
Jacqueline Moba for Zanis in Ndola.
Chipata District Education Board Secretary Gabriel Chutu said government is working towards addressing the prevailing shortage of desks in schools in the area. Mr. Chutu says the desk situation is still a challenge in most schools across the district, but that measures to address the situation are being put in place. He has explained that about 20 schools in the district were recently supplied with about 20 to 25 desks each to ensure that no learner sits on the floor. Mr. Chutu has appealed to various stakeholders in the district to supplement government efforts to address the desk deficit. He has further called on the local authority to expedite the process of procuring desks through the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. 3 traditional leaders in Muchinga province have praised government for actualizing plans to construct chiefs' palaces and other developmental projects. Chieftainess Waitwika, Chiefs Kafwimbi and Katietie have thanked President Hakainde Hichilema for the gesture. The 3 traditional leaders said this when Muchinga Province Minister Henry Sikazwe called on them at their palaces to appreciate the challenges they are facing. Here's a report.
Duty in the province has continued. This time around, Muchinga Province Minister Henry Sikazwe, in the company of his Deputy Permanent Secretary, has taken time to interact with Chief Kafwimbi and Chief Katietie of Isoka District on various developmental issues.
Lebi abantu babo Let's ensure that we tell our subject not to sell all the maize so that other areas that are experiencing dry spell can be fed from here. This house is small, therefore I'm happy that government is building us palaces and the plan is good. The other challenge is that I don't have transport.
So government
should ensure that people within the district are employed first to avoid transfers. Otherwise, the recent recruitment did not go well with my people. They cried a lot.
During the engagement with Chief Kachetia, the chief emphasized on the need for the head of state to visit them.
Let us work together as chiefs. We have a lot of good ideas that can bring development. Most of our people were left out of this recruitment of teachers.
Organize that meeting. If some of the logistics we can work together, then let's agree. Then it's either we visit the president in Lusaka before, or the president can come here. So let
us ensure that we encourage the girl child to go to school with this free education in place.
The minister also held a meeting with heads of departments. Miriam Kumwenda, reporting for Zanis in Isoka, Muchinga Province.
Thank you, Miriam. Now, Central Province Permanent Secretary Muna Mwanakampwe has urged children from vulnerable households to concentrate on education as government provides education support through schools, bursaries, and education loans for skills development. He said this when he handed over foodstuff and groceries to Agape Village Foundation, a home for the orphaned children in Chitambo district. More in the following report by Alex Mukuka.
In order to promote cleanliness and good diet for the 57 children at Agape Village Foundation for the orphaned children, the government has donated several cleaning items, foodstuff, and groceries to Agape Village Foundation for the orphans. Central Province Permanent Secretary Muna Mwanakampwe, who handed over the donation, says government will always render a helping hand to the needy.
The environment that I've found here is more serene, conducive for learning, and for us to show thanks to the sponsors, we need to put our heads together and start hard. I know you have heard of going to school, having meal allowances reinstated. We're looking at an aspect of having bursaries, but this time around there are loan schemes.
Mr. Mwanakampwe, who took time to tour the orphanage, which also runs a school, appreciated school management.
Government will not fold arms akimbo. We will always look forward to partnering with yourselves to make sure that the lives of those that fall before us or those that are failing to work with us are held and are held to the latter, because these are not only leaders of tomorrow, these are leaders of today. So there's no future, there's no past, it's what we do today.
Agape Orphanage Center Director Angela Rushomwa has thanked the government for the good gesture.
It's important for us. It will go a long way. It's rare that we receive visitors who can even think of bringing something for us. So, thank you so much.
Reporting for Zanisi in Chitambo district of Central Province, I am Alex Mukuka.
Kabombo Town Council Director of Planning, James Mwila, has advised school management to utilize the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, to complete community projects and other infrastructure in schools. Mr. Mwila said this when a team of officials from the local authority visited the Kalonga Primary School during a CDF project appraisal exercise in Lunyiwe Ward. The Kasama Municipal Council has commenced temporary works to allow the smooth movement of goods and services on the Chiba-Chilubanama Road in Kasama district of Northern Province following heavy rains that have made the road impassable. We have more in the following report.
This is the state of the Chiba-Chirubanama Road in Kasama district of Northern Province. The road has become impassable due to heavy rains the district has received this season. Kasama Municipal Council have since come on board and patching up areas which are badly damaged.
The roads have been damaged due to the rains that we have experienced as a district, and of course we want to appeal to the members of the general public to be patient with the local authority, as some roads have been submitted under CDF, and there are some roads that have been spotted as the local authority that will be worked on.
Pritia Mumba, a civil engineer from the Kasama Municipal Council, gives an update on the works.
And we had complaints from the community saying some people have been cut off, the children can't access schools, and the community can't access the healthy services. So we came on board as the council, as it is our mandate to maintain roads, to do some spot improvement on these roads. And we started on this week Tuesday, and probably will complete by Saturday this week.
The residents of Chiba and Chirubanama have thanked the local authority for this gesture.
I think that is a plus. That's a plus. But what is needed in the near future is to make this road a permanent one. Yes, we must have at least the catch waters. Yes, a good camber formation. The road need to be treated as a very important road, because it goes to so many schools in this direction.
Reporting for Zanis in Kasama, I'm Jafet Munkondia.
Visiting United Nations Development Program UNDP Regional Director for Africa and Assistant Secretary General Ahona Ezeakonwa says there is need to tackle vices contributing to gender-based violence, GBV. Ms. Ezeakonwa, who expressed concern with the increased cases of GBV in Zambia, says there is need to deal with the root causes in mitigating the vice. Lakson Makosa reports that Ms. Ezeakonwa said this after visiting the one-stop Anti-Gender-Based Violence Center in Chamuka of Chisamba District.
I heard from my colleagues that you have been very, very supportive in providing the backbone support for the programs that the UN, under the leadership of our resident coordinator, is advancing here, promoting the well-being of women and girls. We're very proud of your champion in this cause, not just by words, but in action. And I'm really looking forward to observing today what the community has done through your leadership, and how the UN system has been supporting the initiative, and also to see what more we can do to really create the best conditions for those who are usually marginalized because of social norms or negative cultural practice.
We saw Zambia working very hard and working to change the laws and also to improve the policies to ensure that the environment for the vulnerable persons, mostly the women and the girls, are improved. And this I'm happy to mention, that we are really working very hard, and the President is providing leadership, being the AU champion on ending child marriage. And we are going to show you the good works which the President has done.
The British government, through the British Council Empowerment and Development of Girls Education Program, will support the Ministry of Education to implement a communication strategy policy aimed at enhancing communication within the Ministry of Education. Ministry of Education Head of Communication Assistant Director Kunda Mando says the communication strategy will act as a roadmap to providing quality education and enhancing linkages between the key stakeholders in the sector. Ms. Mando said this in Choma District when a delegation from the ministry called on the Provincial Education Officer Grace Muya, who was represented by Provincial Education Standards Officer Maurice Molopo.
From different departments within the ministry, and also we are very privileged to have with us the statutory bodies that include Teaching Council of Zambia, Helsby, which is in charge of loans and student loans and bursaries, Higher Education Authority. We have the various statutory bodies and that are part of us, so that every one of the departments, the statutory bodies, the ministry itself, are in tandem with what our vision is, which is to ensure that we have quality education. So we just want to see how we can sort of align ourselves, our strategies to the strategic plan for the ministry.
With more support from the Global Partnership for Education, there is a support now to construct more schools, that is EC hubs, early childhood education centers across the country. So 45 districts have been identified, and in those 45 districts that have been identified, they'll be constructed in each district, minimum of 1 hub with 3 EC centers, bringing a total of all of them across the country, about 430, somewhere thereabout. Now, that is a robust program. We're talking about the construction of 430 EC hubs and satellite centers across the country for ages 3 to 6, taking focus in the rural areas where there's a low enrollment rate, that's one, and poverty levels are very high, and then thirdly as well, hard to reach places.
It is very important that we have our communication department taking a move to have a strategy that is going to help us, maybe as a ministry, be able to tell our story through our own department. We feel that is going to help us so much.
Chipata has not recorded any new cases of cholera in the last 24 hours. Chipata Trades Mini Hospital in charge, Gloria Zulu, says the 95 cases have been recorded since the onset of the cholera outbreak. And the cholera survivor, Maureen Banda, 29, has expressed happiness that she is leaving the hospital in good health. We have more in this report.
Cholera is coming to almost zero infection in Chipata district of Eastern Province. Open beds that were fully occupied have been seen with only 1 case remaining. For a cholera survivor, she vows to sensitize others on the disease.
It's a diarrheal disease with uncontrollable vomiting and diarrhea. Okay, so that means people can't control it. Yeah. So we have this bed for them to easily, release their vomiters and stool.
Chipata Trades Mini Hospital is happy with the progress.
Eastern Province, we've recorded about 95 cases of cholera. So last week, beginning of the week, it was a bit quiet. We did have a few patients in the ward, but after the rains, the number increased to, I think just after the Nchwala ceremony started, it increased to, we had about 7 patients in admission. But we've currently discharged most of them, and we are only left with 1 as of today.
Jubal Zulu, Zanis, Chipata District, Eastern Province.
Thank you, Jubal. And lastly in the news, in response to the devastating effects of the prolonged dry spell, the Ministry of Agriculture in Mufumbe District of Northwestern Province has launched an initiative to train farmers in conservation farming methods. This comes as part of the short-term measures to mitigate against the anticipated poor harvest. Here's a report.
While the district was reported to have an increase in production from 14,000 hectares for the 2022 to 2023 farming season to 16,000 hectares for the 2023-2024 farming season, Mufumbe has for the first time suffered a prolonged dry spell which has lasted for over 5 weeks. This has posed a serious threat to food security in the district, especially that agriculture is the backbone of livelihood for most of the local people. Recognizing the urgent need for action, the Ministry of Agriculture in Mufumbo District has embarked on a training initiative to empower local farmers with knowledge on sustainable farming practices tailored to withstand the challenges of a shifting climate.
We want our farmers to adopt the 16 by 39 meters, where in the 16 meters, we want these farmers to dig about 28 basins. And from one line to another line, they should leave at least a spacing of 75 centimeters. So meaning in 39 meters long, they are going to have 52 lines. So if the management is well, you find that in the 28 basins, they are going to have 56 crops, because in each basin there are 2 plants. So these 56 crops, if they are big enough, they are able to fill up a bucket of maize. And this bucket of maize is enough for a family of 6. So meaning that this family of 6, if each week they are eating 56 crops, for the whole year, they can eat using this same field.
While some farmers applaud the efforts by the Ministry of Agriculture in the district, Honest Mukimba, a local farmer, is calling on the government to consider making available irrigation facilities for farmers in the district.
Especially one day one most of the kale program mana tunehela ya kuya na kulimako ngetu toto mako kumea inawahe chikumi omona tuwanako tumwe tokulikafisa natu na bana bana
tuna kulomba kuti government kuchukwasha kunjila yumo akuchwinka kuja kuzatisha ibe kuikana good irrigation system chengi chodina mejwani hekwane kuikala kuma sources amokwila akuchwa naku mwaku ikaila na menjera kuchimbila kuma bohozi chinu chejima inunjila ibuchwila kusustain.
By diversifying crops, implementing conservation agriculture practices, and adopting sustainable land management techniques, farmers are not only mitigating the immediate impact of dry spells, but also safeguarding their livelihoods for the long term in the district. John Muhanga reporting for Zanis Mufumbo District in Northwestern Province.
As we end the news, let's have a reminder of the top stories. Bank of Zambia launches monetary policy report. DMMU aids Kasama flood victims. Chipata Industrial Yard benefits locals. Plus, Chiba Chilubanama Road remedial works commence. And that is all we had for you on Zanis News. Thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of the entire production team, it's goodbye and pleasant viewing.